Greetings and blessings to you all. I am Lex, and welcome back to my channel, Lex Stays Liquid. And as a part of my African first and then worldwide project, 10 to 20 year and plus endeavor project to healing the toxic masculinity. This is just one of where us as Africans or black people, we continue to fail ourselves, okay? Whether that's by design or whether that's by nature. This is for you to decide. However, nothing in nature is meant to be this way. You know what I mean? Okay, so without further ado, what we're going to do is we're going to jump into this video right here. Okay? And this has been the topic of conversation. And right here you can see Will Smith slaps Chris Rock at the Oscars. Shout out to ET, which is Entertainment Tonight. This is their page. Go and follow them. I do not own this video. This is just me simply utilizing this for educational purposes. Right, without further ado, what we'll do is afterwards we'll jump into a couple of comments and we'll tackle it from there. All right, let's have a look at this. So I will be stopping periodically so that we can, pretty much jump into where I'm going to illuminate toxicity within the black male specifically. No matter what your status is, no matter how much is in your bank, mental health is super, super, super important, gents, okay, if you're listening, right? And without a peace of mind, you can always be manipulated. If you're not steadfast within your own energy, you are always swayed, like trees in the wind. When the wind blows, whichever way the wind blows, you go. Which means you're triggered by anything, okay? And that means you're weak, and therefore you're emasculated. You're compensating by utilizing negative techniques to boost yourself or prop yourself or make yourself seem above, while you're actually drowning from within. And it's super sad. Without further ado, let's jump into this. Make it run.
So does the audience after Will Smith takes a swing at Chris Rock on stage at the Oscars.
Okay.
It all went down after Chris made a crack about Will's wife, Jada Pinkett-Smith, and her shaved head.
Right. Okay. Let's unpack that first bit. I mean, if you look at this, let's just run this back a little bit. I mean, this thing right here, doesn't that look staged? Doesn't this look staged? Just look at how he runs up. Wow. Let's doesn't this look staged? Look at the step. Boom. No, man. That looks super staged, okay? Obviously, we know Hollywood. For those of you who don't know about Hollywood, please do your research. The root word Hollywood, or comes from the word holly, the holly tree. And if you look at etymology, if you look at the holly tree back in ancient Druidic times, I'm sure ancient times beyond that, in and amongst that, maybe after that, they utilized the holly tree to fashion wands, magic wands, to cast spells, okay? So spells upon the masses. Hollywood, please do your research, and let's continue to unpack this, because that also right there, even if it's staged, super toxic. And at the Oscars, guys, guys, this is the Oscars, okay? It's the world stage of accolades, apparently. It's the highest space where, you know, you've pretty much reached your peak in terms of acting and performance arts, whatever the case may be. And then you come in with this buffoonery. Okay, let's make it run.
Will Smith. The feed goes silent, and so does the audience after Will Smith takes a swing at Chris Rock on stage at the Oscars. It all went down after Chris made a crack about Will's wife, Jada Pinkett-Smith, and her shaved head.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
Wow.
that was a nice one. Okay.
While Will appears to laugh at first, things immediately turn sour
There's a
as
step.
he takes to the stage,
Boom.
slapping Chris straight across the face.
Uh-oh, Richard.
Boom.
Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith.
I mean,
The sound on the broadcast suddenly cut out in the moments following the altercation,
Okay.
but international markets saw the feed
Okay.
in full.
Okay.
Will shouting at the top of his lungs, "Keep my wife's name out of your mouth."
let's run this back one
Clearly
time.
shaken and unsure how to
Okay.
process the face.
Have a look at this.
Uh-oh, Richard.
Have a look at this, right? This guy is full on laughing.
Shaved head.
He's okay.
Jada,
Cool
I
shit.
love you.
This guy
G.I.
is.
Jane 2, can't wait to see
Can't
it.
wait.
All
Look
right?
at this guy. He's balling out. Boom. Okay. Pause right there. He's having the time of his life, right? Just behind him, Miss Lupita Nyong'o, she's also balling out. And then look at the eye roll. Wow. Jada she's like, negative. I'm not having that. Right, I'm not going to speak on toxic femininity and what that side requires to do, but I believe what we're going to see here is a prompt, okay? Or if you have been following Jada Pinkett-Smith, I did my research and she's been divulging in the last few years. I mean, I believe she started in about 2016, 17, 18, 19, I'm not too sure when exactly, but she began this round table thing. You can do your research, check it out. It's crazy. It's absolutely wild, where she speaks about entanglements, about sleeping with August Alsina, and they had an open marriage, and whatever the case may be. So this will make more sense. However, just look at this, and then as we coming back down to why we're here is he's having a great time, right? And then he switches up and then he claps Chris Rock. And then he starts to mouth words, which we're going to jump to in a few seconds. But look at him right there. He's having a great time. Right there. Look at that guy. Look at this guy. Make it run.
That was a nice one. Okay.
While Will appears to laugh at first, things immediately turn sour as he
Step.
takes to the stage, slapping Chris straight across the face.
Sorry. The slap looks so staged. Looks like a really Hollywood slap. You know, like in a movie.
Will
Okay.
Smith.
The sound on the broadcast suddenly cut out in the moments following the altercation, but international markets saw the
Lupita
feed
Nyong'o's
in
like,
full.
okay.
Will shouting at the top of his lungs, "Keep my wife's name out of your mouth." Clearly shaken and
Okay.
unsure how to proceed, Chris responds the best way he knows how with another joke.
That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
In the history of television, that should also lend you to sort of get the idea that Hollywood is still you got to keep the show running, okay? For those of you who have acted on stage, who've done any type of arts, even if someone falls down, if someone breaks their leg, or if you're on stage, you keep the show running. You get that? And picture yourself getting high stakes money, and if you mess up, your check can be cut or even removed completely. Okay, so on those levels, plus there's a lot of other things happening in the background, initiations, some dark things, so that you can comply and become copywritten. They copyright humans, but do your research once again. And I believe this also leads to the detrimental, or really the deterioration of mental health, especially among black men, because these men actually worked for a better life. They came from places where they really had nothing to show for anything. And so when you get to these levels, right, you you take everything, because you know that at any moment it can be gone. And once again, that is a lack in the mental health side of life. All right. And with Will Smith, I really feel for him deeply, but also I'm not shocked, because he's very toxic. Anyone who looks nice outside can have problems. Anyone who looks beautiful outside can have the most problems. All right. Not to say that we don't all have them. However, it's a misconception, a misconstrusion, that those who are perceived entertainers, people in power, or quote unquote power, because power is what you make it. Where I'm from, where my reality and what I'm creating and what we're creating in this beautiful network, okay, of healing, right? Where we all have an equal say and equal pay. However, depending on what you feel like doing, for your benefit, your desire, your intention, and not for the intention, desire, benefit of another entity, a secret, a shadow entity, or something that is actually bleeding you out. You know, this is why they sell. They say you sell your soul for fame and the money and everything that comes with it. Okay, and they don't speak about everything that comes with it. They speak about the money and the fame, right? And that's what they show you. That's what's perpetuated. But in the background, the mental health of a being will still come out. And the age that we're moving into now, which is Aquarius, it's all about fluidity. It's all about liquid. Let it flow. Anything that is stagnant, especially when it comes to the energies of the masculine, okay, which is what we're dealing with. If you don't let it flow, it's going to boil up. It's going to be become a gasket, right? So what I want to point out here is the fact that he says, keep your wife's name out your mouth, about a G.I. Jane joke, which, I mean, even though we know that Jada, suffering from alopecia, apparently that's her story. She said that, and she's cut her hair, but it's not like she's nasty looking, or I mean, it's a condition. Like, you don't have to be so touched about it. So I mean, from that standpoint, especially while you're on this world stage, okay, the Oscars, this is not just a braai at your auntie's house, you see, on a Sunday. So there's levels to this, and when you look at it holistically, right, there was no need for this. I mean, afterwards he could have pulled him aside and said, brother, or even slapped him in the background in front of the wife and said, baby, look, I'm good enough for our relationship, because that's what it looked like. It looked like she prompted him with the rolling of the eyes, as we saw. I pointed that out. Okay, it's like she looks as though she prompted him. You guys can also comment and see what that looks like. But in their own relationship, it looks super toxic, and it's coming out more and more and more. This open relationship, this entanglement vibe that they have going on, with also two children who are in the world stage, and they've been married for 20 plus years. That's not that's not that's not just an everyday thing. It's to be cherished. So you've got to ask yourself also, what's really going on, and why is it coming out like this? Okay. And why are a lot of things coming out like this? Why are the fact that there's so much gender-based violence happening, so much child trafficking, so much child pornography, so much black dealings, as in black, as in unseen, as in really just what we thought is not. And as you can see right here, I'm not doing anything. You can see for yourselves, right? That over here it's a lot. So make it run. Let's
So
continue.
what happened next? E.T. has learned that Denzel Washington and
Okay.
Tyler Perry pulled Will aside for a private chat during the commercial break that followed. Denzel was up against his pal for the Best Actor trophy at the show.
I mean, it's a lot of emotion.
Okay, so he had to have his other brothers who are, they know the order, so they obviously had to let him know that, you'll be dealt with. However, you really got to chill, but apologize, and yeah. And then listen to what Denzel says, though, to the masses, to the public, about emotions, okay? This is very important.
For the Best Actor trophy at the show.
I mean, it's a lot of emotions. This is a long time, I think a long time coming for him.
Okay.
And it's a lot of emotion. It's probably all welling up in him right now, so it better be him.
The trio hugged, and it appeared things had calmed down. A source tells ET, quote, "The theater was silent after Will got up and hit Chris. No one could tell if it was staged or a joke at first. It was incredibly awkward for the whole audience. Will's friends and team have been trying to calm him down."
My God.
Wow. As for why the joke may have hit a nerve for the couple, Jada was diagnosed
With alopecia. Jada Smith, okay, Jada Pinkett
with
right here.
alopecia
This
in
guy's,
2018,
have a look at this
a hair
lady.
loss condition which she has
Does she look nasty to you? Does she look like she should be embarrassed about herself? I don't believe so. I don't believe so. Okay? However, like Denzel just alluded to, is that it's been boiling up. What did we just say? Any man who holds his emotions means that you're a boy, because you emotionally challenged. Your EQ is low. Okay, so this is what we trying to heal. This is where we are going towards, gents. You're not able to be your authentic and leadership self and beam out that true energy, because you are easily manipulated. I'm not going to talk on the work that Jada needs to do, because she needs work to do on herself. She's not a perfect human being at all. Okay, but we're not playing a blame game. What we're saying is, what from our perspectives can we shift? All right, and this is the crux of the matter. And so I believe that the whole reacting to the joke thing and alopecia, keep my wife's name out of your mouth, was just out of pocket completely.
has spoken about publicly many times.
Y'all know I've been struggling with alopecia.
Why are you laughing?
Just all of a sudden one day, look at this line right here.
That looks like you got beaten. That looks like she got hit with something. Or someone really shaved her really hard, and then they just cut it. I don't know. I mean, that's just observation. I'm not a observation specialist, but that's my opinion. So once again, it's out there for us to see, and I don't believe it's any grounds for you to prompt anyone to do anything, whether your relationship is going good or bad. As a woman, I believe as a queen, you should just be a queen and hold your own and hold the family together, especially in that position. So, once again, if you look at the research, her entanglements and all of that jazz, it just speaks to her character, and also she speaks about Tupac. I mean, once again, if you go a bit deeper, there's interviews where she says that she found something with Tupac that's only found once in a lifetime, which means that they were soul partners. They were twin flames of some sort. She felt, okay, and she just says that she'll never love like that again in some of those videos. Anyway, it's insane. Let it run.
So it just showed up like that. Now this is gonna be a little bit more difficult for me to hide. So I thought I'd just share it so y'all not asking any questions.
And earlier in the night, co-host Regina Hall made a jab at Jada, which could have also contributed to Will storming the stage.
Will Smith, you're married, but you know what? You're on the list and looks like Jada approved you, so you get on up here. Get on up here.
Now they're all having a
It's
good
also
one.
worth
Come
noting
on.
Chris made digs about Jada when he hosted the show back in 2016, too. So there's history here. Will got a chance to address the incident when he won the Best Actor honor, his first ever Academy Award.
Now,
Be able to have
what we're gonna see here is a classic. I mean, Will's a good guy, guys. He's a very good guy. He's a very good actor. He's an exceptional actor because he takes roles on. I mean, this King James, what he won the Oscar for, being the Serena sisters, Serena Williams and Venus Williams, the Williams sisters, being the father in a remake and encapsulating just the role and his method acting on that. Wow, cool. However, he also has toxicity because he does not know how to deal with his emotions correctly. You just came from laughing to slapping to now crying in a setting, and you're not even drinking. You're not even taking drugs. Well, I do not know if he is, but if he is, if he's taking mind-altering substances, plus being in this environment, look at the results. This is a roller coaster, guys. It's unhealthy. Make it run.
people talk crazy about you. In this business, you got to be able to have people disrespecting you. And you got to smile and you got to pretend like that's okay. Art imitates life. I look like the crazy father, just like they said.
And now he's back on it. I mean,
just like they said about
Hollywood.
Richard Williams.
Come on.
But love will make you do crazy things.
No. Okay. That's a 0, right? Love will never make you do crazy things. Unconditional love doesn't do that. However, once again, we've seen right there the emotions. What happens? It's super erratic when you're toxic. But once again, you have to be willing to accept your darkness in order to allow in the light. It starts with you. Otherwise, this has been one of the most enlightening videos that I'm going to do in terms of, healing the toxic masculinity, because it's in the public, it's in the public's eye, and we able to talk about this, dissect this. Let's have a conversation. Let's open up dialogue, and then let's utilize this as a point of reference for us to become better men, especially in the black community. My Africans, I love you. We are strong, we are powerful, and this is a beautiful year to be alive. This decade is going to be very powerful, very transformative. However, let's be more aware of ourselves, okay? Let's continue to shift and move the narrative into where we see it fit. Okay, let's jump into 1 or 2 more comments, and we can call it from there. Okay, wow. Let's see what people are feeling. Let's see what Gina N says, because this is actually very, wow. Okay, Gina N says, Chris was holding back to say, I'm going to feel that till August. For those of you who know the entanglements of Jada Pinkett-Smith with August Alsina, you can do your research on that. Hilarious. Okay. Let's see some comments that have some real, some real insight, and not just okay, no, not that. Let's see. Okay. Also, shout out to eonline.com. Thank you for just utilizing your video as a point of reference for educational purposes. Okay, so look at Olivia Begeni. That joke was so harmless, even if he did know about the alopecia. I'm very into celebrity gossip and read all the magazines, but I've never heard about it. Anyway, Demi Moore was hot as fuck as G.I. Jane. I mean, that's coming from like someone who's just literally a fanatic for something outside of herself, as she alludes to right here. So even she says the joke was really harmless. So what triggered him? Okay, so remember, gents, there's triggers, and be aware of your triggers, and we need to work on them. That's part of the healing. All right. So let's get into maybe one more out here. Okay, let's go for this. Oh, here we go. Nalia Cafe. Right. Will Smith, from laughing at the joke to slapping Chris to crying during the speech, a well-deserved Oscar for these mood swings. Okay. Right there. I'm going to leave that right there. And you can decide. Also, gents, boys, if you need healing, if you know someone who does, if you know someone that's dealing with drug habits, drug abuse, if you know someone who's dealing with alcohol abuse, if you know someone who just has a lot of mental health issues, or just requires someone to speak to, or if they would love institutions to be directed to, if they would love to be a part of the events coming up, if they would love to be a part of the seminars, the workshops, the talks, the mentorships that I have, the learnerships that we have that are going to be available. It's a powerful year for us to come together and let's heal. Once again, I'm Lex. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. Please remain blessed.